Hi, this is Debbie Bailey, and I don't know how many of you that subscribe to this channel are friends of mine on Facebook as well. A few days ago, I completely lost it and lost my temper. And although I regret losing my temper, I do not regret any of the sentiments expressed in that post. Ever since I posted the Urgency's public drone video, I have been attacked, lectured, scolded, ripped into, and I just reached the end of my rope and blew. Also, some people tried to explain some things to me, like I'm an idiot or something. And some of the things in these lectures that I got were things like this. That the reason why Lolita's tank is so putrid and filthy and full of algae and waste is because they're trying to get her ready for conditions in the Sailor's Sea, which I find ludicrous. Another one that I find equally as disturbing is that the reason why she's losing weight is on purpose. They're trying to get her skinnier so that when they transport her in 18 to 24 months, the trip won't be so hard on her organs because she'll be thinner. I mean, that makes no sense at all. And then there's the conspiracy theory one that I didn't even know was floating around, that the Urgency's drone video itself is a fake and has been manipulated in some way. I'm sorry, but this whole circus that has come to town with all the fanfare and fairy tales and, feel good freaking look, man, I can't do this. I cannot. I don't know how many of you have actually seen an orca up close, in captivity, in those water closets. I don't know. And I don't know how many of you have watched an orca literally waste away and die. But I have twice. Once when I was barely a teenager, 13, and again in the early 80s or mid 80s. I can't remember, when I was in my 20s. The first time was Shamu. And in April of 1971, they tried to pull this PR stunt with a female trainer in a bikini, which Shamu was not used to feeling human skin. She was used to wetsuits. They put a harness on Shamu that she'd never experienced. I mean, there was so much going on to freak out that orca, and she did freak out. And she bucked that woman off, and she grabbed her by the leg. And they had to take a crowbar to dislodge, separate her jaws off that woman's leg. That young woman needed over 100 stitches. And it completely freaked out everybody at SeaWorld. And their answer was to take their biggest asset, their brand name, the orca that made them multi-millionaires, and throw her unceremoniously into the furthest tank behind the stadium and isolate her and neglect her and feed her less. Now, I saw her a couple of times on the weekends because school was still in session and I could tell she was getting thinner. Well, when summertime hit, I was hitchhiking down to SeaWorld every day. And about a month had gone by, and when I saw her, I like panicked inside because she was so thin and she was just logging. And even though she recognized me, she wasn't as happy to see me anymore. She was just getting thinner and more withdrawn and just. And this one day, I yelled at a trainer and told this trainer off that they had to start paying attention to her and feeding her more. And why isn't she with the other orcas? And what's going on? They threw me out. Okay, I was thrown out of SeaWorld for a day. But I was 13, and you know when you're in your early teens, there's something about it, I don't know what, but you think the whole world's looking at you, and everything is so magnified, and it humiliated me and embarrassed me to be thrown out of SeaWorld. I didn't go back for 2 weeks, even though I was just thrown out for the day. When I got back, Shamu was gone. She was dead. It took a little less than 4 months for Shamu to go from healthy to dead from neglect, isolation, and less food. The other time was in the, I don't know, I think somewhere between 84 and 86. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the orca was a male, you know. But anyways, I started noticing this orca in a tank by itself. And it was thinner. And it was logging a lot. And then the orca would disappear and then reappear, disappear, reappear. And every time it disappeared, I figured it was taken to the med pool, helped, treated. But every time it reappeared alone in that tank, the orca was skinnier and more lethargic and just logging in one place for a long time. And then the orca disappeared and I never saw it again. And like I've told you guys on previous videos, I hadn't gone to shows for over 20 years. I didn't know the names of these orcas. I was just there trying to give them love and connection, look them in the eye, let them know that there was a human being that knew they didn't belong there, that they shouldn't be in captivity. And this situation with Toki, ever since Dawn tagged me with that Urgencies drone video, that's what hit me. That's what sent me flying out of my bed and just petrified and terrified for her. She looks abandoned. She looks neglected. She looks isolated. She's thin. I want to throw in a fact here. I know facts don't carry as much weight as they used to anymore. But I'm going to tell you this fact anyway because I think it's really important. The last official thing that the USDA did for Toki, because they really don't want to touch this Lolita situation with a 10-foot pole, but they were forced to. There is a law in the United States of America that says that no circus or zoo or marine park can exhibit an animal that's sick, ill, injured. They can't. And even though these places do it all the time, like look at poor Maya. She was sick every day of her life with her stomach, but they were able to get away with it. But Lolita's situation is totally different. She was so gravely ill that the USDA was forced to enforce this law. And they walled her off so she couldn't be exhibited. The law also states that once the mammal has regained their health, they can be exhibited once again. That is a fact. So my question is, why is she still walled off from the public? If all this fanfare, fairy tale crap is true, that Lolita is better, she's in good health, she's full of herself and ready to go, why isn't she being displayed? Why isn't she being exhibited? You know, having people around her would help. Just being around her would help. But the wall is still up, which tells me Lolita is still sick. Toki is still sick. And all I've been trying to do since I've seen the drone video is to get people to help her. Get vets in, clean the tank, get her salmon, get her people. And I have been just waylaid because of it. I guess if I don't grab a pair of pom-poms and leap up and down and keep repeating, Toki's going home, Toki's going to be reunited with her mother, I'm some kind of traitor. I'm putting negativity out there. That is not what I'm doing. I love Toki. I want Toki to go home too. Look at her. Look at that tank. She's still walled off. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But if she doesn't get help very soon, because of the neglect and the isolation and all the weight loss, she will leave us. Bye.